Hello everyone. For some reason that took me a minute to go live. I was waiting for a little bit, but here we are. Hopefully that's no indication that there's something wrong with the stream. Hopefully you guys can hear me and we're good to go. But tonight we've got a good one in store for you guys. What are we going to be talking about tonight? We're going to be talking about you can desensitize to anything. You can desensitize to anything, and you'll notice I've got anything in all caps, man. All caps. You can desensitize to anything. So this is an interesting topic. This is one that I don't think we've necessarily did an entire stream on before. So this should be good. We'll see who's going to get first in chat. I just woke up, so I'm ready to go, man. We got Kenneth first in chat. What's up, Kenneth? Hope you're having a great night. Welcome to the stream. Hope you enjoy it. We've already sent out some notifications. Let's see. Hope you're all doing well. I'm going to send out one more just in case. Give me just a second, guys. We got Yolando. Sorry, I can't talk tonight. We got Yolando coming in second in chat. What's up, dude? Hope you're doing well. So yeah, we've been on the same stream schedule for a few weeks now, so we might as well go ahead and get used to this around this time. This one's a little late, I'll admit. We're a little late tonight, but it's okay. So notifications have been sent out. You can go ahead and ring that notification bell, guys, if you want to join us live. Doesn't always work, but it's worth a try. It's worth a try, right? Style alert, what's up? Third in chat, how are you doing? We got Craig coming in fourth. What's up, Craig? Welcome, guys, welcome. We've got a good topic tonight. Good topic tonight. You can desensitize to anything. We're gonna get into that. I'm gonna explain what I mean by that, and then of course we're gonna wrap that up with talking about how you can go about doing that. Right? That's the important part. How you can go about doing that. So we'll wait for about another minute or so. Give everybody a chance to get in here, and then we'll get started. How you doing, Craig? Style alert. What have you guys been up to? Welcome. I got a comment on my last stream saying that my mic was either too low, so hopefully it's a little bit better. FBK, oh, that's loud. That is loud. Sean mentioned you on his Instagram live the other day. Oh, did he? What did he have to say? FB, thank you for the tip, man. I really appreciate you. Thank you. We've not even been going for 3 minutes yet, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right, guys. Let's see here. Show some love to FB, man. Show some love. Thank you so much for the tip. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Let's see how many people we got in here. Can we go ahead and get started? Pete, what's up, dude? Just in time on my bus ride home. Well, welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy it, man. Joyce, thank you for the purple hearts. Appreciate that. Style alert says he said he preaches exactly what you do, that you're pretty much on the same page. Okay, gotcha, cool. Yeah, I try not to bring up or mention other YouTubers, not because I've got anything against them. Like, I'm sure he's a cool guy, I'm sure he's a good guy. I just I don't watch their videos, right? I don't watch their videos, I don't watch their streams, so I don't know, but if he says we're on the same page, then I'll take his word for it. I guess we're on the same page then. I don't comment on things that I don't know about, so I've never watched any other videos or streams from other YouTubers, but yeah, that's cool. If he says we're on the same page, then I guess we're on the same page. All right, let's go ahead and get this stream started tonight, you guys. You can desensitize to anything. That is the topic we're going to be talking about tonight. Again, thank you, Joyce, for the purple hearts, and FBK for the $10 tip. We're not even 3 minutes into the stream. We're already 10 on the tip goal today, guys. We are so close to that 200 mark. So let's go ahead and get started. Here tonight, you can desensitize to anything. So, interesting topic, because sometimes I do get a comment or two or a question or two revolving around the fact that somebody will say something like, this trigger for me, Wonder Bro. And when they say trigger, they're either talking about maybe a particular thought that they're experiencing that's very sticky. Maybe it's a situation for them. Maybe it's a symptom, right? When they say trigger, it could be anything. But, I do get comments from people saying, Wonder Bro, this trigger for me is just too tough. I can't quite overcome this one. I can't seem to apply the advice to this one. It's this one for me, Wonder Bro. If I could just overcome this one, I feel like I would be good. I get comments like that from time to time. And I just want to make it very, very painfully obvious that you can desensitize to anything, guys. It doesn't matter what the topic is. It doesn't matter what the intrusive thought is saying. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. It doesn't matter how scary it might be to you right now. You can make new pathways. You can make new associations in the brain, which is desensitization, right? You can do that no matter what the topic is. So, again, I don't want anyone out there to think to themselves, wow, I've come so far in my journey, but I'm just caught up on this one. I just can't seem to get past this one. This one's too much for me, right? I've had people treat certain triggers like that. I've had people even come to me and say, well, this trigger, Wonder Bro, I hate it so much, I just wish I could go back to my old triggers, right? I've had people say that. I wish I could swap out this trigger that I'm dealing with right now with an old one because I feel like I could handle that better. Understand that it's all the same, right? That's really the main point we're trying to get at tonight, guys. It's all the same. It doesn't matter what's setting you off. It doesn't matter what's causing you the anxiety. It doesn't matter what the topic is, what the content is, what the trigger is. You can desensitize to literally anything, right? I've had people come at me with what they believe to be impossible triggers, right? Saying things like, there's no way I can retrain my brain to this specific trigger for me. Wonder Bro, it's just too big. I've had it for so long. It's just so scary to me. There's no way that I can possibly desensitize my brain to this specific trigger, right? And then we've worked with those people. We've talked with those people. We've helped those people. And then what do you know? Right? We don't like to give time frames, but within weeks or months or whatever, they come back and they say, you know what? I'm laughing. I am laughing at that trigger now. Right? And it's almost mind-blowing because it's like, didn't you just say that was crippling you? Right? Didn't you just say that there was no overcoming that? Didn't you just say not long ago that particular thought or symptom or situation or whatever your trigger was, didn't you just say that basically had you defeated and that there was no way you were ever going to overcome it? And now you're telling me that you're laughing about it? That is the amazing possibility, right? That is the amazing possibility of retraining the brain. That is the amazing possibility of doing the work. You can go from being absolutely crippled by a certain trigger, right, to laughing about it. Now, I'm going to give you some examples from my journey, not just from other people's journey. I'm going to give you some examples from my journey. I had a particular trigger that I thought for sure, and I had a few of them, right, but this is going to be my example for tonight's stream. I had a particular trigger that I just never thought I would ever be able to overcome. It was too daunting. It was too terrifying. It was horrifying, and my reaction was just so bad to it that I never thought in a million years I would be able to have that particular thought and laugh at it. No way. That is not going to happen, right? That was my outlook. Now, this thought was the thought of me going insane, right? Now, that was one of my big ones. If you guys know my story, you know that was one of my big ones. Keep in mind, I had hundreds of different triggers, it felt like, but that was one of my big ones. Now, back in the day, that trigger was so bad for me, guys. It was so intense for me that anytime I had the thought of going crazy or going insane, and by the way, Pete, thank you so much for the $5 Cash App. Appreciate you. Show some purple hearts, guys. Anytime, guys, back in the day that I had the thought of going insane or crazy or whatever the case may be, if it was around that subject, right, if it was around that topic, it was just immense anxiety, right? There was no way that I would have believed that I could ever overcome that particular trigger, right? Maybe other triggers, I'm making progress. Some other things don't bother me as bad, but there's no way I'm getting over this one, right? That was the mindset. So anytime someone even just barely mentioned the word crazy or insane, or I got a thought about, like a mental hospital and, all this stuff. Or maybe it was on TV. Maybe there was like a show on TV that was hinting at like people going crazy or insane. Or anytime there was even the slightest bit of stimulus involved around the topic of going crazy or insane, I'd lose it. Right, just anxiety through the roof, second fear. I would start telling myself negative things, awful things, just so much anxiety and panic at times, right? So for me to sit there and think, yeah, one day I'll be laughing at this, no, there's no way. That's impossible. That's what I thought, right? There's no way. That's impossible. That was my go-to thought. That's not going to happen. But what did happen and what ended up happening with acceptance? So every time that thought rolled around and I got the knowledge, okay, now we got the knowledge. Knowledge is power. I told myself, you know what? Yes, of course this is going to cause a crazy alarm, right? It's going to cause a huge alarm because I've made a bad pathway here. I've made a bad connection between the thoughts of going crazy and it being a real danger. So of course, when this starts happening again, I'm going to get crazy anxiety. That's okay. I started telling myself, you know what? That's okay. Knowledge is power. I know the false alarm is going to be there. I want to see if I can form a new connection. So every time the thought of going crazy came around, I started to try to form a new connection. And how did I do that? With the accepting inner voice. I was like, you know what? I know the false alarm's going to be there because I've made a bad connection, a really bad connection. I'm going to let it happen. I need this. I talked myself up and not down. Every time it came, every time the trigger came, I was telling myself, self stuff just like that. And I would go on about my life, go on about my day. So the accepting inner voice and living your life. That's what I started to do. And no, right away it wasn't super easy. And right away it was tough at times, right? And that's saying the least. Right away there wasn't instant rewiring. But what did happen is I went from being just absolutely destroyed by that trigger, just the thought of that trigger. I went from being absolutely bedridden by that to now I can laugh at that. Now I can watch whatever I want to watch. In fact, here's a funny little fact for you guys. Like I said, I had multiple triggers, but that was one of my bigger ones. But here's the funny fact. After I started applying acceptance to all of my triggers and trying to rewire these pathways, it actually got to the point, and I didn't even realize it when it was happening. It's kind of funny. I didn't realize it when it was happening. One night, this is before I made the channel and I was doing pretty good in my recovery. I turned on the TV and I actually went to YouTube, and out of habit, I, from before I started my journey, I wanted to watch a documentary. Love documentaries. So I was going to put on a documentary, right? Sounded good. I actually found a documentary as I was scrolling through and searching the results on insane asylums. Without even thinking about it, I clicked on it because I was like, you know what? That's interesting. I clicked on it and I started watching it, and about 15 minutes into the program, it hit me. It dawned on me. I was like, what's happening? I'm sitting here with my feet up watching a documentary on insane asylums when not even a few months ago the thought of going insane would cripple me and send me through the roof with anxiety. And here I am with my feet kicked up, having a drink, enjoying watching a documentary on insane asylums. I was like, what is happening? What is going on? Right? And then it dawned on me before that, but it really dawned on me in that moment, you can desensitize to anything. Right? A thought that used to cripple me and put me in the corner and really just beat the hell out of me. I'm talking beat the hell out of me with as bad of a trigger as it was. I'm now sitting and watching documentaries on the same topic and enjoying it. Right? And that's when it really dawned on me. You know what? You can desensitize to anything. Anything. It doesn't matter if at one point it used to cripple you. It doesn't matter if at one point it used to put you in the corner and just beat the hell out of you. You can desensitize to anything with this accepting inner voice, allowing these triggers to happen and living your life. You can form new connections to anything and everything. And that was really, a big moment, because that's when I really realized that, hey, it doesn't matter what the trigger is. It doesn't matter how bad it used to beat the hell out of you. It doesn't matter how bad it used to set your anxiety off. Anything and everything can be desensitized to. So, it was a pretty big moment for me, because I was like, it doesn't matter what comes along. It doesn't matter how crippling it is. It doesn't matter how big the fear is. It doesn't matter. You can desensitize to anything, right? And that was a good realization to make. And tonight I wanted to share that with you guys because I want you to make the same realization, because there does come a certain level of confidence with that realization. There does come a certain level of, holy shit, I'm pretty unstoppable, right? It's not to say it's always going to be easy, but there does come a certain level of, wow, whatever comes, I can desensitize to it. And that's just a really good realization to make. Now, in order to make that realization, you're going to have to face some of those triggers. And by facing them, I mean accept them. The accepting inner voice while they're there, letting them play out and keeping your head above water and just moving forward, right? So to make that realization for yourself, you guys, you're going to have to do that. But I'm telling you, you can desensitize to anything and everything. It doesn't matter what the trigger is. It doesn't matter what the situation is. You can desensitize to it. And again, that's just such a good realization to make, right? It's just such a good realization to make. So that was the point of tonight's stream, you guys. I don't care how overwhelming you think your trigger is, you can desensitize to it. Right? I don't care how overwhelming that thought is, you can desensitize to it. But here's the kicker. If you do the work, right? It's not just going to fall into your lap. But if you do the work, you can desensitize to it. You guys can get your lives back. I believe that, and I know that 110%. So you got to use the advice. But the fact remains, guys. The fact remains that you can desensitize to anything. Right. Craig says, I want to fly again, but how? So much fear. Well, you can sit and think about it, right? You can sit and think about how much you want to fly again, and then you can ask yourself, well, how am I going to do that? Because there's just so much fear. Well, we can sit and think until the end of our lives, right? But the only thing that's going to make the difference is if you go fly again. You'll never be ready. Right, you'll never get to a point where you say, okay, I'm ready to go face this. It just needs to come a point where you say, okay, the knowledge, I've got the knowledge. Knowledge is power. I can either use it or I can not use it. I can face it or I can not face it, right? So we can sit and talk about how do we do it all day long. But the only way that you're going to make a new pathway, a new association, is to use the advice, right? Is to use the advice. Now, do I recommend that you go fly? Probably not. We need to get you into a better place in your day-to-day life first, Craig. I know Craig personally. We need to get you into a better place in your day-to-day life first before we go jumping on an airplane. So let's work on that first. Let's work on using the advice and getting you to a more solid place in your life on the day-to-day before we worry about that, all right? So the advice is, what is the advice? Accepting inner voice. So while the trigger is there, you're reminding yourself, yep, I expected this. It's time to retrain. It can be there. Just going to let it play out. I know it's not the real me, false alarm, whatever you want to tell yourself. Accepting inner voice and live your life. Let's work on that. Let's try to get that a little bit more solid in your daily life before we go worrying about jumping on an airplane. Fear of heights, so I'm going skydiving. Well, there you go. There you go. I have a fear of heights as well. So, fun fact. All right, so who's still with me in the chat tonight? Who's still around? Let's get some music going in the background. We're going to have to sit through an ad real quick, you guys. Give me just a second. All right. All right. We're comfortable. We're situated again. Who's still with me, chat? Who's still with me? We've got Kev in the chat. What's up, Kev? How you doing? Thank you for those purple hearts, by the way, Kev. Yeah, guys, show some love to Pete and FBK for getting us to 15 on the stream tonight. Really, this stream, was just to try to spread some motivation. I feel like these streams are good to have, because there are people out there that think they can't overcome a certain trigger. It's just too big, and I love to give that example of my own journey. Going from being so crippled by a certain trigger. I mean, practically bedbound, right, by a certain trigger, to being able to purposely expose myself to that trigger and actually enjoy it, right? So it just goes to show you that no matter how big and overwhelming you think your trigger is, you can desensitize to it, but only if you use the advice, right? Only if you use the advice. Got to start accepting those triggers, not adding negativity to them, just riding the wave when they're happening, right? Because that's when your brain is learning. Anything can be desensitized to. Anything. I don't care how impossible you think it is. I don't care how much you think to yourself, yeah, there's no answer to this trigger, therefore I'm never going to get closure, I'm never going to desensitize to it, it's an impossible trigger. Yeah, that doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. I'm here to tell you that doesn't exist. This streams helps me so much. Appreciate you, Kevin. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Grateful. I know it's kind of a late one tonight, but we're here. We're here, and if you've got any questions, feel free to ask them now. Lose the fear of fear. That's one way that you can put it. Yes, that's one way that you can put it. You have to talk yourself through these moments instead of adding so much negativity, right? And until you start practicing talking yourself through these moments instead of going straight to the freak out, straight to the negativity, until you start talking to yourself in a different way about these triggers and the fear, you're just going to keep adding fuel to the fire, right? It's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, for your brain to learn that way, right? You've got to start talking yourself through these moments. Knowledge is power. Instead of jumping straight into the argument, straight into the obsession, the fight, you got to start letting these triggers play out while you just allow it and go on about your life. It's the only way that your brain is going to form new connections. If you always go straight to the fighting and the negativity, it's, like I said, it's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, for the brain to form a new connection there, because you're just reinforcing the same old negative connection, right? So yes, that is definitely one way that you can put it, Craig. Hope you're all having a fantastic night. Might take some time, but the mind is so powerful we can do anything. Absolutely, Kev. Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself, Kevin. Lose the fear of fear. Definitely one way you could put that. Are you actually going skydiving, by the way, Kev? Because if so, that is impressive. So if you're experiencing, if you're extremely scared, experiencing that feeling, I tell myself, it's okay, this will pass. I've been through this before. I'm okay. Yeah, I mean, you find your own inner voice, right? Those are some examples. You find your own inner voice. You find what you like best personally. Don't expect instant results. These triggers still have to play out, right? They have to play out. So don't expect, instant results, but you can get relief rather quickly if you stick to this. Yep. So not bad examples there, Craig. You have the creative freedom with this inner voice, and what I mean by that is you have the ability to decide for yourself, as long as it's not a negative fight or argument or obsession, then, that's fine. Yeah, my friend is taking me. I'm an adrenaline junkie. Well, that is impressive. That is very impressive. That is certainly an accomplishment. I don't think many people would go skydiving. Even outside of the world of sensitization, I don't think many people would go skydiving. So, that is impressive. I can't wait. Well, you'll have to let us know how that goes. I'll be curious now. Oh, we got an ad. We got an ad. Pardon the interruption. We've got an ad. Where's the music? Oh, here we go. Sorry about that. Proceeds. When you were in your sensitized time, did you feel you had to explain to people why you did the things the way you did because of anxiety? Did they ever observe a difference or feel distant while you were sensitized? I was never really that open about my sensitization, right? I kind of just let people assume. And I think the reason I did that was because I just didn't want to talk about it. And, even just talking about it for me at times could be triggering. So, I just didn't want to talk about it. And B, I always had the mindset of, well, they don't get it anyway, right? They don't quite understand it anyway. So I'm kind of just wasting my time. I'm wasting my breath. I'm wasting my energy. Now, whether or not that's a healthy way to look at that is up for debate. But me personally, that is the way I looked at it. So, yeah, I just kind of let people guess, Pete. I didn't really come forth about it. I didn't explain myself. I didn't talk about it a whole lot, right? Or at all at times. So, did they notice a difference? I'm sure they did. But they also knew, and I'm talking about the people closest to me, right? They also knew that I wasn't going to talk about it. So, it was kind of like this awkward understanding that, yeah, he's going through some shit. But he doesn't talk about it, and we're not going to really bring it up either. So that was my experience with it. Like I said, whether or not that's a healthy way to look at it is up to you to decide, but that's the way I looked at it. I was like, I'm not even going to waste my time, trying to talk about something that they don't understand anyway. So... yeah, I mean, it's true, Kev. It's true. It sounds depressing, but it's true. I mean, unless somebody's actually been through it, they don't really get it, and they're never really going to get it. So I just didn't waste my time trying to explain it. I did have people I talked to, though, but they were, they were like online and stuff. Those that were closest to me, they wouldn't have understood it, so... and that's not their fault either. That's not their fault. I mean, if you've not been through it, you've not been through it, right? don't expect you to understand at that point. How are you guys with that topic? Because this is an interesting topic. Are you guys more open about it to people that you know, even though you know they don't understand? Are you more open about it? Are you more closed off like I was? What are your opinions on that? I'd like to hear it. I just always had the belief. I don't know, dude. I just always had the belief that what's the point? Because they're not going to tell me anything that I need to hear anyway. So that was my belief system. What's up, dude? Acceptance of each and every moment is vital, even when you don't feel like it. Regardless of anxiety or not, acceptance is freedom. I've had tremendous progress. I love that comment. I wish I knew how to pin comments. I don't even know if that's a thing here on streaming, but I love that comment. It's so true. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate it. Guys, we're at 15 on the tip goal. We're on a 191-day streak. We are so close to 200. Shout out to FBK and Pete. Thank you, guys. But yeah, that's an excellent comment. And when you quote unquote don't feel like it is when you probably should practice it the most, right? You should practice what you're telling yourself the most when you don't feel like it. That's really when you're doing the most work. That's the ironic part of that. Kev says, I try to be open, but they just don't get it. Yeah, I didn't even try. I didn't even try. Because I automatically, right out of the gate, I was like, what's the point? They're not going to understand that anyway. So, I didn't even try, personally. So, props to you for at least trying. Raven, what's up, Raven? Hope you're having a good night. We're here hanging out, chilling. For those of you who are late or missed it, we were talking about how you can desensitize to anything, right? Anything and everything. It doesn't matter how big of a trigger it is. Doesn't matter how much it's, you know, really just beat your ass in the past. Doesn't matter how crippling the trigger is. No matter how crippling the thought is, you can desensitize to anything. And myself personally, I am walking proof of that, and there's plenty of people in this YouTube community that are also walking proof of that. I've had people, you know, go through some, we got a stupid ad. I've had some people go through some pretty intense triggers that they just did not think they would ever be able to desensitize to. Saying things like, this is too much, it's never going to, I'm never going to be able to work my way through this, it's always going to be a fear of mine. I've had plenty of people come to me and say that, and then after working with them for a bit, they were laughing. They were actually laughing at what used to trigger them. So yeah, anything and everything can be desensitized to, doesn't matter what it is. And the reason that is, so for anybody who doubts that, they're like, I just don't know, right? I know you say that, but I just don't know. The reason that is because the brain works the same no matter what the trigger is. So you can desensitize to anything. Why is it best to not know, figure out, since that tends to be a bad habit? Because you can't, right? So number one, for starters, it's impossible to figure out and know something for certain, right? So you can say, like, let's take someone with health anxiety, for example, and they're afraid they might have a heart attack one day. There's no way that they'll ever be able to get the reassurance that they're not going to have a heart attack one day. Impossible, you know. They can go to the doctor as many times as they please and get a clean bill of health, but they're never going to get 100% reassurance that one day they won't have a heart attack, right? Because that doesn't exist. That certainty doesn't exist. You can take someone who's afraid, what if I snap? What if I lose it because, this isn't anxiety or something? Well, you're never going to get 100% reassurance that you're not going to snap or lose it, right? You're never, not in the world that we live in. Not in the world that we live in. So you got two choices, right? And you can't, by the way, you can't snap or go crazy from anxiety. But my point is, someone who's worried about that, what if this is something else? What do you want us to do to give you 100% reassurance? There's nothing that exists. You'll never get the 100% reassurance that you're not going to have a heart attack, right? I can tell you that you won't have a heart attack from anxiety, but just a heart attack in general, I can't tell you that, right? I also can't tell you that with 100% certainty that you won't run into this in your life, or you won't run into that in your life, or the reassurance that people seek is impossible to give to them. It's impossible to give to them because we don't have the technology to crack your brain open and say, here's what's going to happen in your future. That technology doesn't exist. We don't have the technology to say, okay, I can look into your future and I can tell you that you'll never have a heart attack. I can tell you that you won't have one due to anxiety, but I can't tell you that you'll never have a heart attack. I can't tell you that you won't run into something in your life. I can't tell you that this won't happen with 100% certainty. I can tell you that it's probably not going to happen, but the toxic part about reassurance is that it's never 100%. There's never 100%. Nothing exists to give you that 100% reassurance, right? There's always going to be that what if, as long as you continue to fight with it, right? There's always going to be that what if. You can't reassure yourself 100% of the time. There's always going to be that what if. Doesn't matter if you go get all the tests done. Doesn't matter if you go get the clean bill of health. There's always going to be that what if. We can't, there's nothing we can do about that, right? There's nothing we can do about that. So there comes a pivotal point in recovery where it's like I realize that I can't get the 100% reassurance. I've just got some bad pathways, and if I wanted to retrain my brain, I got to do this. If not, I will spend the rest of my life looking for that 100% reassurance and not get where I want to be. And that's kind of the reality behind the situation, right? There's always those two choices. You either realize that you're never going to get the 100% reassurance and then do the work so that you can desensitize to these things, or you continue to seek it, and you will seek it until the day you die. And that is the grim reality, right? So, some people might hear that message and think, well, wonder, bro, that was a very depressing way to put that. Well, you want me to sugarcoat it, or do you want me to tell you the truth so that we can get to work and we can desensitize here, and you can get your life back because you deserve to get your life back? So, do you want me to sugarcoat it, or do you want me to give you the reality of the situation here? So that was a long-winded answer, but I hope it answered your question. You can desensitize to these thoughts about this and about that, or about maybe this or maybe that. You can desensitize to these thoughts and get over them through desensitization, and they won't bother you anymore after a while if you use the advice. Or you can continue to seek the reassurance for them, and that reassurance doesn't exist. You're not doing the work. You're still very negative, blah, 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 and you don't get your life back, right? You're a victim to this stuff. So that choice, is everybody's to make. It's your choice to make, but you do have that option. You do have the option of recovery. You do have the option of getting your life back, and anybody can do it. It's just a matter of being disciplined, right? It's a matter of being disciplined, and also realizing that A, you can desensitize to anything if you really want to, and B, you're never going to get the 100% reassurance anyway. So you might as well go with your best choice here, right? Recovery. It goes back to how, me, for example, I couldn't get 100% reassurance that it was anxiety and that I wouldn't go crazy because it might be something else, whatever. I couldn't get that 100% reassurance, and that thought crippled me, right, for a very long time, put me in the bed. So I couldn't get the 100% reassurance on that, but I did the work and I desensitized to it, So you can desensitize to anything. Back to the main point of the stream here. You can desensitize to anything without the reassurance, right? Because it doesn't exist anyway. Still craving tacos tomorrow for sure. Man, you've been on a taco kick for what, like a week now, Kev? Whatever you decide to have for lunch tomorrow, I hope it's good. I'm a little hungry myself right now, actually. So it's a good stream tonight, man. It's a good point, and it's one that you need to realize. And if you don't realize it, you need to continue to think about it. You can desensitize to anything, because the brain works in the way that it doesn't matter what the trigger is. You can desensitize to it. Did you get your roof done? So that was yesterday on the 27th, but it'll probably take longer than a day, unfortunately, to get it done. It'll probably take closer to a week, I'd say. But we did talk to them yesterday. They came up and they're getting ready to get started. So I'm excited. It's rolling, guys. It's rolling. Sorry to change the subject. Oh, you're good, man. You're good. I appreciate all the comments. Doesn't matter what the subject is. I'm going to post, if I can, I'm going to post progress pics. So, as far as the roof goes, I'm going to try to post progress pics. Not much has been done right now, other than bringing up materials. So, but as we get into it, I'll try to post progress pics as we move along. Very exciting. How have you been today, Ophelia? I wish they could get it done in like a day. That would be great, because then I wouldn't have to worry about my sleep schedule, which is still not on track, obviously. So I don't know if the beating and the banging on the roof is going to keep me awake or not, but I guess we'll find out. It's like on the other end of the house. Like, I'm all the way in the back of the house, so I don't know, maybe it won't be too loud and I'll be able to sleep just fine. But yeah, I guess we're gonna find out. Yeah, it's gonna be loud. Yeah, I think so. I think it will be. I hope not. Maybe being on the total opposite side of the house, it won't be as loud, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Been a pretty good day today. I love it. A little anxiety at work, but just continued working with the feeling there. I mean, that's what it's really all about at the end of the day, right? It's not about making the feeling go away in the moment. It's just saying, okay, false alarm is here, chalking it up as a false alarm, understanding that you can desensitize to it, and just moving forward. You keep up that attitude, you keep going in that direction, and you'll make all the progress that you want to make. And congrats on the progress you've already made. Wear earplugs, you'll be fine. I need to get me a good quality pair of earplugs. I've got like earbuds for music. Maybe I'll just put on some white noise or something. Fall asleep with it in. Thanks to you. I appreciate that, Ophelia. I know it's easier said than done, right? I know it's easier said than done, but once you get the knowledge, you know, we've been saying here recently, knowledge is power. So it makes accepting the triggers that much easier when you know why you're doing it, when you know, hey, this is a false alarm. You know, I know I can desensitize to anything. I've been, you know, that's been explained to me. You know, should we suppress the anxiety and stress? It's definitely not. It's not about suppression. Acceptance is kind of the opposite of suppression. So, Soccer Mom, thank you so much. Thank you. Shout out to Soccer Mom, guys. Drop some purple hearts. We might hit our tip goal after all. Thank you so much, Soccer Mom. That takes us to 25. We're on 25, guys. Drop some purple hearts for all the tippers tonight. We're on a 191-day streak. Thank you so much. If you want to send a tip to the stream to help us hit streak, you can do so by tapping the first link there in the description. Make it rain. Or you can just go straight through the emails that you see on screen. Get us some purple hearts going, guys. Thank you, Soccer Mom. Says just join the podcast. We'll watch the video when uploaded. I think I'm starting to desensitize. Great. Keep it up. Acceptance seems not as difficult, and the heaviness in my chest is also lighter. Thank you, Wonder Bro. That is awesome. Thank you, Soccer Mom. Big Worm, I didn't even know you were here, dude. Thank you for the purple hearts. Kev, thank you for the purple hearts. We're at 25, guys. We're at 25. We are close. Blaze, to answer your question more in depth here, acceptance is the opposite of suppression. To suppress something means to try to fight it down or fight it away, whichever one you want to word that. So you get a feeling come up and automatically you're like, I don't want this. I don't want to feel this. And ironically, to suppress something doesn't even work anyway. It makes it worse. So people say, well, I have to suppress my feelings. I can't handle it. I got to suppress it. And I say, well, suppressing doesn't work anyway, because to suppress something means that you start fighting with it, and that makes it worse. So really the word to suppress your feelings is kind of a myth. It doesn't exist anyway. You just make it worse. To accept something says, hey, I accept that this is the reality right now. I'm feeling this way. I'm going to let it happen. I'm going to desensitize to it. Right? So acceptance is the opposite of trying to suppress, and suppress is a myth anyway because it just makes it worse in the long run. Thank you guys for the purple hearts, man. Appreciate you. Always show the love to the tippers, guys. If it wasn't for these beautiful people, we wouldn't be able to do this full time. So huge shout out to the tippers. Thank you for the purple hearts, guys. Yolando and Pete. It's easier said than done, but I know no matter what I've learned, still it's me who has to remember. Yeah, you have to remember the knowledge. You have to remember, okay, this is happening. This is what's going on, and just let it happen, right? That's the accepting. The accepting inner voice is to remember the knowledge. Okay, here's what's happening, right? It's just facts. Here's the facts of the situation, and then just move forward, right? That is the accepting inner voice right there, so... Thank you again, Soccer Mom, for the $10 tip. Guys, if you want to, I know some of you go directly through the emails on screen, which is fine. It'll still get read on the live. You'll still get credit for it. But if you do want to make the cloud pop up and the music go off and bust my eardrums because I never remember to turn down my headphones, all you got to do is use the first link in the description there. You got to close the live chat out first, I think, to be able to access that. Julian, what's up, dude? Welcome to the stream. It says the rush of thoughts that have to do even with recovery and how I'm doing with my recovery are to be left, right? Yeah, just to be left. It's all just to be left. You just got to stay on top of it by remembering, okay, here's what's going on, right? Accepting inner voice. That is the accepting inner voice. Just a reminder of here's what's going on, and then continue on with your day. That's how you desensitize to literally anything and everything. You start to form new associations because you don't freak out as much anymore because you're just remembering what's going on and continuing living. The brain will make the new associations in time, right? So absolutely right, Julian. Freedom is within uncertainty and vulnerability. It's the way we were really made to live. Unfortunately, we've picked up some ways of thinking and responding to life that are incredibly rigid. I couldn't agree with you more. Excellent comments tonight, dude. I don't think I've ever seen your name in here, but you're coming in with some straight facts. I love it. Welcome to the streams. I hope you enjoy them. Suppressing is like a beach ball, bounces back up. Yeah, the word suppression to me has just always been a myth. I know people go around and they preach it and they say, yes, I suppress this and I suppress that. unless you're suppressing with like drugs or alcohol, which I could see how that would work temporarily, but it's going to be a bad outcome, I'll tell you that. It's going to come back and slap you in the face eventually. Unless you're suppressing with drugs or alcohol, I could see that working in the short term and leading to long-term not so good stuff. Then the word suppression is just a myth to me, because you can't really suppress anything anyway. It's going to be there, and you can fight with it if that's what you think suppressing is, but it's not going to work. It's just going to make it worse. So it's really just a myth term. It's there already. You might as well do it the right way, right? You might as well just remember what's going on, stay afloat, and keep living. Dr. Claire Weeks loved the word float, and float just means to, hey, here's what's happening. Not going to freak out about this. Here's what's happening. Knowledge is power, you know. Remind yourself of what's happening, and keep living. That's how you desensitize. Brain starts to say, hey, they're not freaking out as much. They're not adding as much negativity. This must mean that we need to form a new association. We need to form a new connection between their trigger and the response that we give them to their trigger, because they're not freaking out as much anymore. They're just letting it happen. So new associations start to be formed literally within your in your skull there, in your brain. It's a beautiful thing. It's not always a fun process. I mean, God, I know that. I know that, but it gets easier, right? It gets easier, and now that you have the knowledge, it should be easier. Again, not always going to be fun, and you're not always going to be perfect, but it does get easier as you move along. What's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Hey, Wonder Bro, congrats on your straight 192 days of live stream. You're doing wonderful work, and God bless you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. We do miss a day every now and then, I'll admit. It's not been a perfect stream every day, but for the most part, just have to ride the wave till it calms. I mean, really, that's it. That's it. Stop adding the freak out part. That's the main point right there. Stop adding the freak out part. Guys, I'll also I will be focusing more heavily on the coaching sessions. We're going to try to pick those back up. So if you're interested in just a one-time coaching session, or maybe even a reoccurring session like once a week, I can't take too many of those, right, because I am only one person at the end of the day. But if you're interested in a one-time session or reoccurring, DM me on any of my social media accounts, Vacate Fear, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you know, send me a DM. It bluffs you, man. It does bluff you, because it's an alarm, right? That's what the alarm's job is, to try to make you think, hey, this is serious, right? So it does bluff you, because technically that's what its job is, right? Technically that's what its job is. So it does bluff you, but it gets easier. It gets easier because you've got the knowledge on your side, right? Knowledge is power, as we say, because the thoughts can even be about anything. Yeah, they can. The trigger can be about anything, but that's all irrelevant. The context is irrelevant because the solution remains the same. And back to a little nod at the stream title that you see there, you could desensitize to anything, so it doesn't matter anyway, right? It doesn't matter any way you look at it. Doesn't matter what the context is. You can desensitize to anything, so does it really matter? Question mark. Right? So to anyone that's lost on content, oh, well, this one's worse than this one, or that thought's worse than that, drop all that, because the solution is still the same, right? And if you get lost in fighting with content, well, then you're getting further and further away from what we want you to be doing with recovering. How much does it cost for the coaching sessions? It varies. It depends on how long you want them to be. I try to keep it reasonable. It's not hundreds and hundreds of dollars like you see with most coaching sessions. So I try to keep it reasonable, but it really depends on a few factors, how long you want it to be. Do you want reoccurring? It depends. It's voice, Big Worm. It's voice. We do phone calls. Yeah, we do phone calls. And by we, I mean me. I do phone calls. So if you're interested in that, yeah, just toss me a DM. Let me know in the stream, though. Let me know if I should be expecting a DM from you or not, and on which platform. That way I know to look for it. But yeah, good stream, guys. Good stream. A lot of good questions tonight. I do appreciate it. We made the advancement, Big Worm. We have evolved. We appreciate you. I appreciate you guys, Kev. There is nothing to solve. It's about getting out of our heads and into our life. Another great way to put it, dude. Another great way to put it. So many ads in this particular playlist. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. Something a little bit more upbeat. All right, Big Worm, sounds good, dude. Like I said, I try to keep it reasonable. I know most stuff like that is hundreds and hundreds of bucks. Not here. It's not hundreds. So, Wonder Bro, this is the second time I have luckily caught your live stream. I have not been able to contribute in any way otherwise, which could have cost money as I'm a retired person. Oh, no, you're good, dude. You're good. Yeah, don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. The war against anxiety, yeah, when it's definitely not a war, or it shouldn't be treated like one anyway. It's just about gathering the knowledge and letting it happen. It's not a war. So I agree with that comment. Do you have Instagram? I don't want to say your name because I can't pronounce it. I'm gonna call you A because it starts with A. Does that work? Do you have Instagram? Toss me an Instagram message, and I will respond back as quickly as possible. We'll see what you're looking to get. No Instagram. Do you have Twitter or Facebook? WhatsApp, perhaps. I do have WhatsApp, but obviously I can't give the number on stream. But trying to think of a way I could connect with you. Okay, yes, Facebook. Look up the Vacate Fear Facebook page and toss me a message on there. Hey, sounds good, Ophelia. Sounds good. I have a friend who's been inviting me everywhere, all expenses paid. He's in Puerto Rico right now. He's heading to Vegas after that, and of course I said, no, I need to live again. You're getting there, dude. You're getting there. I know it's not an overnight process, but you're getting there. Practice to a point. What's up, Sky? Where I was well enough, but I stopped practicing, and yeah, now in a big setback. The reason I say yeah there's because that's so common. Slowly coming out, but I should have been more consistent until I fully well, you can starting now, right? Can you guide me to use Facebook? I'm a bit technically challenged in those matters. No problem. So if you pull up Facebook, you go to the search. All I got to do is type in Vacate Fear, the same name as the YouTube channel here, and you'll find my page. And when you find my Vacate Fear page, you should see a message button there somewhere. Jazz, thank you for the $5 Cash App. Shout out. Drop some purple hearts, guys. Drop some purple hearts. Let's see the purple hearts. We're trying to get that to become a thing. Purple hearts represent love and gratitude to our tippers. Thank you so much. We are at 30. We are 20 away from our 192-day streak. 20 away from a 192-day streak, guys. Get some purple hearts. Thank you for the purple hearts, Ophelia. Appreciate you. If there's any more questions, guys, feel free to ask. Oops, no, I got it. I got what you were going for. It's all good. But yeah, Sky, I think plenty of people have been in that position where they kind of regret not staying on board, right? And it's normal. Lots of success and blessings from this family and more joining your noble work. Appreciate you. Thank you for that. Big Worm, thank you for the purple hearts. Thank you for the purple hearts, guys. Appreciate you. I bet Texas is miserably hot. If I could imagine. Hey, I love the motivational message, dude. I know Big Worm has been putting himself out there a little bit more here often, so congrats on that. Whatever pace you decide to go at, Big Worm, as long as it's forward, man. Whatever decisions you decide to make, we got your back as a community. It's been raining a lot recently, so it's been tolerable. Yeah, I don't know if I could do it, man. I don't know if I could do it. I've got a friend who lives in Texas, and they talk about how the grass is just brown because it's basically torched by the sun, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but you have fun with that. We got some smooth jazz playing here. All right. Hey, thank you for the $5 Cash App, or PayPal, sorry. Thank you for the $5 PayPal. Hey, let's get some Purple Hearts, guys. Thank you, appreciate you. Purple Hearts, love and gratitude for our tippers. We are 15 away, guys, 15 away from our 192-day streak. We are going to be wrapping it up here shortly, so fair warning, but we are 15 away. Who's going to save the day? Christopher, what's up, dude? Welcome to the stream. The traffic is crazy in Texas, sure to give one anxiety. Yeah, I don't know. I've never been, but I've heard plenty about it, and it definitely sounds. It's a good word here. It definitely sounds interesting over in Texas. Big Worm, thank you for the Purple Hearts. Appreciate you. Thank you guys for the Purple Hearts. You've been to India? I have not been to India. I'm sure that adds like a little extra layer of challenge, Big Worm. Where'd our music go? There it is. Yeah, I've not been to India, but I've got several friends that live in India. Someday I should be able to host you with all expenses paid for. I'm on to something big. Hope it goes through. You will be my guest. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Time for bed, y'all. Good luck to everyone in their journey. Hope you all find inner peace. Thank you for being here, dude. And thank you for all the positive comments tonight. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the stream. I think she was referring to you, Big Worm, because I am very far away from Texas. Hey, am I too late? We're getting ready to wrap it up here in just a minute. Yeah, we're a little over our hour mark. Oh, you're referring to me? Well, I don't have any plans at the moment to go to Texas, but if I ever do... My love to this family and big success to all in their journey of recovery. Thanks to you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the positivity. Thanks, Wonder Bro. Thank you for being here, Sky. Appreciate you. It's been a pretty good one. We've had some good questions tonight. Excited for a lot of new things. I love my TV, new games coming out, new shoes and comics right now. Feels good to be alive. What new games are coming out? Bye, all. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. No, not A. Jazz. Jazz, thank you for the $15 Cash App. That is tip goal. That is tip goal. Appreciate you. Right at the buzzer. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. That is tip goal, right? Yeah, that's tip goal. Thank you so much. Get some purple hearts, guys. Purple hearts, purple hearts. Let's see a big wall of purple hearts before we end this one. We might it might be one of those days where we do 2-a-days. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes later. Thank you, Big Worm. We try to do morning streams every now and then, so I don't know. We might do one later. We'll see. I don't like to go too long without doing my morning stream, so. Thank you for the purple hearts. Thank you, thank you. Hey, Ophelia. All right, lovely people. We're going to wind this one down. Like I said, we might try to do a morning stream today. I'm not quite sure. Spider-Man 2, SpongeBob Cosmic Shake. I've not heard of that. Sonic. There's a new Sonic game? And Mega Man? Wow. Okay, I'm behind on my gaming news. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. I love you. I appreciate all of you so much. I'm going to get out of here, but I will see you, I'm sure, very, very soon. And until next time, as always, stay awesome.